What's up, everybody? I'm Frankie Biggs. Thank you for stopping by to my channel. And if you guys haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. Now, today, as you can see, we are not in the regular environment, which is my studio, because we had a very small issue. We had a fire inside the studio. But it wasn't a major thing, but something in my studio did cause some kind of an arc, and after the electricians came out, we found out it was a heater. So in any event, I'm here for at least the next week. We are going to redo my studio. We're going to redo the setup. Pretty sure that these people are going to be coming out to get things fixed so that we don't have that issue anymore. So for the time being, I know some of you are like, where is he at? I am in my living room. I've actually put a little podcast studio here, so I'm going to be doing, well, at least 1 week full of reactions right from this seat. Still, though, on Sundays, those are reserved for BTS. That's going to be done in the couch right next to me. So this is more of a podcast feel. I kind of dig it. Got the podcast microphone going and everything else. So this is going to be cool. A little bit of a break from the ones and twos. Today, we are listening to the entire record of J-Hope, Hope on the Streets, Volume 1. I definitely have heard that song. I heard the collaboration that he did with J. Cole, which was awesome. And they talk a lot about it in the recent Bon Voyage that we are watching. So they keep calling him J. Cole, which is funny. In any event, I know that he's very happy that he got to do that. So the entire record is what we are listening to today. I'm pretty sure I've heard some other songs off of this record, but we are going to give it a complete listen to from ding to dong, from A to B, from 1 to 10. Or how many, Irene, how many there are? You said there were 5 or 6?
6 songs.
6 songs. Okay. So 6 bangers. I'm pretty sure of it. So let's get to it, folks. I cannot wait. J-Hope happens to be a very, very awesome artist and definitely one of my favorite ones in the group. But if you guys know me, I am a V biased as my man's. And Sugar. Sugar is the dude. So let's go. Let's get this happening. Irene, what is the name of the song?
The name of the first song is On the Street,
On the
which
street.
is the same one that has J. Cole.
Let's go. Let's go.
But this one is the solo version.
Solo version. Okay. Let's run it.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me know if you have any issues
All right.
hearing the song.
Okay. Let's go. Here we go. Let's. All right. I mean, first off, I'll say it like this, that I love what I love most straight out of this is the fact that it has that very early 90s New York backpack ciphering chunky beat, just driven, like, just wow. So the example would be the main track sounds like a filtered actually, to be quite honest with you, I think that beat actually may have been, there's an original beat to it, but a lot of people sample from this song, which is Amityville from Eminem. So in Amityville, the song is and if I'm not mistaken, the original sample of that would be, the drummer would have been John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. So I think that they did get that from Led Zeppelin, if I'm not mistaken. Now it appears on the Eminem song Amityville, and now I hear it here. Now I'm not saying that I hear the entire pattern. I'm definitely hearing the drums. That sounds like they may have used what I would have done is taking that complete sample, that it's a whole bar, and eliminating the kick drums and just keeping. Another thing is that it also, you could have used even a more clearer sample of that, and that would have been on the, let's see, that sample also appears on Shook One's Part 2. So, so that, I feel like in between those samples, that's where they got it. Now, let's move on. The point is that I nerd out to stuff like that. I think it's really cool. I dig everything. And at the second, at the very, I guess I want to say that would have been the last 8 bars of, well, the entire segue of the second verse going into the chorus. I noticed that the drums drop down, and I really, really dig that because it becomes this whole environment by itself, and the drums kind of sound like a little bit out here, out in space a little bit, detuned, a lot of bass, and then all of a sudden there's this other sample of so I really, really dig the usage of all the samples and where they put them in the song, and the fact that it's your typical, sounds like it was done on an MPC 500, the typical hip hop machine, like definite coolness, like definite. They really kept it authentic. So, I mean, I could be surprised. Maybe they used Logic or they used another program like that. But the way that the way everything's sitting, it sounds like it was done in an MPC. So yeah, I really, really dig that tune. That's my analysis of it, because the tune that I had heard before was the remix or the collab with J. Cole. And again, it just sounds, that is just his lane. So that's it for that tune. Love it, dig it, and the way that he raps is just, again, I love J-Hope because he's just so many different characters, and he becomes a shadow of himself, and I mean that in a positive way. He becomes a shadow of himself and becomes these different characters that are still him for some weird reason. Like when Sugar goes into being August D, there's a very big transition there. You know what I mean? But with J Hope, there's transition, but there's always still J Hope. You know what I mean? So I think it's really cool. All right, what do we got next? What is the next tune, Irene B?
Next tune is J-Hope with, sorry, I don't know why it starts. I want it to not start until I tell it to start.
All right, go ahead.
So this is J-Hope with Jungkook.
Hmm.
I Wonder. It's called I Wonder.
So,
And you can also read the lyrics. Just
oh, let me put it on. Okay.
so
I Wonder, J Hope featuring Jungkook. Let's do it. JK. Oh, don't tell me that's it.
that is it.
What? What a chip. It was just getting good. What is
I
that about?
know, it's kind of short, right?
What is that about?
Like super short. I would have put another full minute.
I'm saying. I mean, sheesh. Well, I mean, let's get to it. I mean, that tune is amazing. What can I say? I dug it from the start. I mean, even the intro is a little longer than the entire song. It really. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just, God, I'm missing that. Would have been a little better, maybe, because I was thinking that there was going to be a breakdown, and that's
Right.
when he would rap. You know what I mean? So, okay, how can I tell you? Well, I love it. What I love a lot about it is let's start with the drums, like we always do, anyways. Um, I dig the fact that they kind of, and I don't know, usually I'm really good at picking up if those are real Lin drums that they're using. But for those of you that don't know, Lin drums basically are these drums that are so standard in especially like the 80s pop music. Um, so I dig the fact that it was that they did that. I like that. I There was a breakdown that happened, and for like maybe a second, I kind of heard the side stick come through. Now, Prince used Notorious for using, especially in the latter days of the Controversy record that was going into 1999, the 1999 record. Now, that record, the 1999 record, I mean, he used, if I'm not mistaken, the entire record was done on the Lin drum. So those sounds are very signature to him. And then, of course, after that, he did a couple other records. But I think right around Christopher Tracy's Parade, that record there, is when he kind of started weaning himself off of that. And by that time, I think people were kind of going a little bit off the drum machine thing. So getting back to J Hope and the way they produced it, I just thought it was really, really cool. I would have loved to have heard a little more, uh, I guess, throwback of, kind of the side stick, and maybe some of the do 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 do. Like a lot of the Lin drum sound effects were done with the side stick and the toms. So I kind of heard that there, but there just didn't seem to be enough of it. But it was forgivable because the groove is so good, man. Really cool. I really love the guitar. I love the fact that it's a clean guitar. It definitely has some kind of a phase on it, a chorus, I guess, if you will, because I can hear the sound as it's rounding out as he's playing that lick. So I just really think it's a funky groove. Bass did its thing. It's nothing that was memorable. Some of those tunes, the bass is definitely cooking. I'm not saying it's not here, but in this way, what captured me a little more was one, the groove, the drums, two, the guitar, and then the entire song. Lyric wise, I mean, so I'm reading the lyrics, and I love what it basically is saying. It's just you and me. You know what I mean? No matter what, we're going to take our love and we're going to test it against all, and I'm paraphrasing, but test it against heaven and hell, test it against all these different environments, and yet I know that we're going to be coming out on top. So it's just a really, really cool, feel good song, and I just love the groove. I think the only thing that I'm lacking, the only thing that I'm missing, is the fact that it was so short because there's an intro, first verse, segue, chorus, second verse, different segue, chorus, and that's it. It just kind of abruptly stops. I'm kind of waiting for like the breakdown. So, in any event, there was not none. So I guess that's the only thing that I was missing. It was just to be extended. But I'm pretty sure there might be some extended versions out there. I guess I just have to look, and if not, nothing says that it couldn't be extended by somebody. So, in any event, that is that song. Very cool song. I dig that. What's the next song, Miss Irene B?
Can I say something that JK, I think, I mean,
Well,
I don't know because I'm not completely bilingual,
okay.
but JK doesn't sound like he's got an accent. Kind of has the same thing as me
I
when he
mean, did
sings.
he ever have an accent?
No, but he's singing in English while it's not his first language.
Understood, but that's what I'm saying. Like he's always kind of been that good,
Well, that's what I mean. That I'm surprised, meaning in a good way, that
right?
he doesn't have an
He sounds
accent.
great. I mean, he always sounds so fluid on these type of tracks. I mean, and really, this is the type of track that J.K. would would gravitate towards. This is for me. I know that the guy can pretty much sing anything he wants to sing, but when it comes to this like nouveau disco kind of thing like that, I just think that that's kind of where he sits. That's his pocket, and he does really well. His voice with that '70s signature sound is. I mean, obviously he can sing way more than that. He sounds amazing anywhere else, but I just really believe like that's his lane. Like that's his pocket. Is that nouveau disco Lin drums, 80s kind of thing. Like he just has that voice. Like if he had come out, if there was a JK in the 80s with that voice and him, you know what I mean? It'd be over. It'd be a wrap. Especially with these type of tunes, it's so, I don't know. There's something, You know what I mean? Like the 80s was cool, but we kind of had nerdy shit going on. You know what I mean? Even as programmers. So great job, JK. And so is the both of them that wrote that correct, or was that JK?
Oh, I don't know. Hang on, let me see if they for the if they have the credits on Spotify. Oh, Lordy. See, this is my job, guys. Let me see. Oh, you guys can you guys see? No, you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, um, the lyrics
Mm-hmm.
says J Hope, B Dog, Melanie Fontana, and Mitchell Lindgren Schultz on the lyrics. So JK did not write any
Didn't write
part
it. Neither did J
of the
Hope.
lyrics. Yes, he did.
Did oh I didn't know that. Did you
Well,
say his name?
he's in the yeah, he's in the composition. So
All right.
in the lyric as a lyricist and composer. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
so
All right.
probably the English part was Melanie Fontana and maybe Michelle Schultz. I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
Sounds good to me, y'all.
all right, so we're going with uh Lock Unlock
Mm-hmm.
with Benny Blanco and Nile Rodgers.
Now Rodgers. All right. Nile Rodgers? Very cool. Again, it's that nouveau punk, not punk, nouveau disco, and now Rodgers, man. I mean that guy is a legend, super legend, and definitely something that's in his wheelhouse is this type of a groove. And God, it's cool because I'm not gonna say that I didn't know that Hovey couldn't sing. I know that the dude can sing, obviously, but I mean his thing obviously is rap. I mean he is one of the three in the rap line. So to hear him sing is really cool, man. You know, I know that he sings all the time, but hearing him in this context is really awesome. And I really dig the song. Now lyrically, I was reading along, and I think that I understood it as kind of the same as before. Like it's a love that's being tested, a love that stands the test of time. When he's talking about in our break, I can't help but think of Friends. We're on a break. So I don't know if he was saying that even when we're on a break, we seem to be able to work things out. So again, very cool, very thoughtful. But this time the lyrics were a little harder for me to follow. Also, though, because the groove is so dope that I can't help but, like even if I'm reading lyrics, sometimes my mind is assessing what I'm hearing. So you'll have to forgive me, peeps, because sometimes I'm not perfect when it comes to that stuff. But I was reading along, and it seemed to be um, basically the same subject matter as before, just a love that's tried and true. So, all right. What is the next song, Miss Irene B? And do you have anything to add?
Mm, no, I like that one. Just the same as you. The lyrics were kind of like we. I don't know if we can say weird or not. I couldn't quite understand what he was meaning with lock unlock.
Right, right. So,
Meaning, okay, so what I understood in the chorus is only you can unlock my lock, I guess. But the rest of the concept, I didn't get it that much. But maybe
um,
it's us.
probably production wise, I just think it's amazing. And listen, it's not easy to do those type of disco tunes. You either understand it or you don't. You know what I mean? So there's just rules like to everything. And those rules there are not like super hard to follow when it comes to doing that nouveau disco kind of groove. I mean, rules pretty much apply the same. Like if you're going to do that kind of stuff, you want to use drum sounds that reflect that era. So 808s are cool. They were more used the kick and the snare 808s were used more in hip hop, and you did see its ways into like songs like "Sexual Healing" from Marvin Gaye. Like that entire kit is a an 808. 909s kind of were like very very relegated to house music, techno. It had that kind of thing to it. I never really saw any programmers, nor did I ever use a 909 kick, for example, to do any kind of pop songs until right about when the Christina Aguilera. So that would have been about 1999, 2000, somewhere in that era, when she came out with "What a Boy Wants." Come on
What a
over.
girl
What
wants.
a Girl Wants. Sorry, my bad. And that record, I mean, Ron Fair did a really good job with using 909 kicks and stuff like that in ways that we just weren't really going to use it like that. So, getting back to this song and the production like that, it's just really cool that they do that. They know the rules, and the guitar again, man, is just really, man. The guitar player that they're using here is number one. That is really really good stuff. So again, great stuff. Let's hear some rap, man. Where are we at? What's next, Irene?
Next one is I don't know with, and I want to say her name right, and hopefully I will.
Okay.
Yunjin of La Seraphim.
Okay. All right. Let's go. I like them.
Avoir un coup de foudre, tout est enfertant, mais
Okay. I mean, it just kind of goes back to what I was just saying about drum sounds and how important it is to kind of, you know, use the right sounds for the right song. It's like using the right tools for the right job. So I dig it. Obviously, super like 909-ish. This is definitely house. The only 909 that I heard was the kick drum, but it also sounded very modified, like a modified 909. It wasn't a true 909 because it didn't have that 909s. Like the real 909s kind of sound like almost a wall, like it has a hollow wall, like you're striking a wall with a soft mallet. And it makes that sound very round, and that's what kind of keeps it, in your face. However, this sounds like a modified uh, um, 909 that's been taken down a pitch, and maybe they've done away with some of the real round frequencies and gave it more of a subsonic bottom end. So that's cool. This song, I out of everything that I've heard so far, is the one that kind of I don't dislike is a strong word. I don't because I like it. I think it's funky. But it to me so far with everything that I've heard, it's kind of a stretch. Doesn't seem to fit the rest of them. You know what I mean? But then again, that's just me. That's my opinion. Let's see what's next. Now, before we do that, as far as lyrics, so I understood this as these two people are thinking about their relationship, thinking about whether they're going to go on or not. That's what I got out of it. So when she's saying up all night, and I don't know why, I don't know why. I mean, I guess I can only say through personal experience, I know what that's like. Not knowing if you're going to stay with this person or not. Are you going to break up? Or are they going to break up with you? I mean, it's always kind of a one-sided deal when it's in this situation. You're either breaking up or you're being broken up with. So the lyrics kind of remind me of that in that way. Other than that, it's a really, really cool track. I just didn't think it was an exciting track. It wasn't as exciting as the other tracks that I had just heard. Um, but I give it credit for the fact that they at least, um, wait a minute, lower hand. What is that, Irene? Do you see that?
Yeah, you somehow touched something and raised your hand to ask a
Oh,
question.
okay. I want to ask myself this question. Self, Anyways, that's all I have. That's all I have. I like the tune. It's definitely a song that would be needing some remix, and I could actually hear it being just a tad bit faster. I think that would be really, really cool. Um, Again, not enough rapping for me. I want to hear Hobie really, really lay it down. And then I know that he did a little bit of rapping here, but it seems to be just a little more of a melodic tune more than a rapping tune. Yes, ma'am. Anything you'd have to say?
No, I kind of agree with you.
All right. It's a little different, isn't it? It's a little different than what we've heard.
Yeah, I mean, as far as voice was voices, you can tell the difference between this singer and JK in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
recording. Nothing
I'm
against this girl.
nothing against him. I love Seraphim. I mean, but you're right. There's just a different. I guess you can say. How would you? It's just a different texture.
Yeah.
So, what's next, Miss Irene B?
Why do you keep on raising your hand?
I haven't raised my hand yet, man.
Twice
So
already.
I gotta keep
Um,
my hands down. Jeez.
okay, so this is J Hope, and I'm following the Spotify list
Okay. So we don't know
that
if
it
this is the
says
correct.
it says What If Dance Mix. And now I don't know if there's another version of What If, but
There must be if they've announced it as
I'm
a
gonna put the
dance
one
mix.
that's on the record as far as the Spotify playlist.
All right.
Um, so let's go.
All right. Let's go.
Nothing. Can I do that shit?
Well, what I'm missing is what if I had no hope, what if? Like, if he would have just rah, rah, I think that would have been a lot better of a chorus for me because I love when he gets on this heavy metal like tip, man. You know what I mean? And especially he really likes that boom. For some reason, that inspires him to write that kind of like he's really, really throwing it back to man, like 80s punk big time, like right at the turn of like between 78 and 82, like punk music started to slow down a little bit and in some aspects, whereas in the pop got quicker, but it became electronic more than anything. And this type of group really, really belong to like God. I'm trying to think of groups that would have done something like this. I mean, the Dead Kennedys would have done something similar because their drummer was amazing. He was an amazing drummer, man. So I can see him laying down a groove like that. Um, I don't know. I like it. I think mix wise, there were some guitars in that part that chorus that I just think they could have done more. They could have brought it up, and he could have screamed that. I think that would have been in order. I would have done it that way, and if not through every chorus, I would have at least ended it in that way, and just really rocked the fuck out like he did in his first record. I can't remember that song. It kind of sounds like this. It has the same groove. I did a reaction video to it. In any event, um, yeah,
More?
words, more words, lyrics. Um, I understood it as more of a he's telling himself that he can do it. You know what I mean? And then at the same time thinking, what would have happened if I didn't have hope? What if I didn't have a car? What if I didn't have any opportunities? It's almost like, would I love myself? Would you love me? Could you love me if I was nothing? It almost is kind of a take of off of Dr. Dre's record off the um, Millennium 2000 record. I think that's what it was called, where he says, no, actually, it was 50 Cent. 50 Cent saying, if I didn't have anything, would you still ride with me? You know what I mean? If I didn't have a car, would you take a bus with me? Basically, like How much are you riding for me? So I think that in this song, the lyrics kind of resemble that a little bit, at least that sentiment. Like, what if I didn't have any of this shit? Would I still be the same person? So it's a question for the people on the outside and also a question for himself. Um, but in typical fashion, in typical production manner, I feel like RM has a lot of influence. I'm not saying he had anything to do with this, but if you said RM produced it or helped write it, I would be like, yeah, of course. But it definitely, there are moments where I think that RM is inspired, or I think that J-Hope is inspired by RM because I'm not saying that they sound alike, but some of the flows, I can tell that he's picked up from RM. And this by itself sounds like almost RM-ish, like wrong place, right time kind of record, or if I said that right, I don't know. But that record is kind of the take from it. The different elements, the breaks that go into something completely different. The fact that the breakdown is really, really different too from everything. Just very, very eclectic, very emotional and elemental. And I dig it. I really, really do. Very good tune. What say you, Irene B?
I mean, you know that that's not my kind of sound. It's a little too harsh.
Not everybody can be Mariah Carey.
All
What's
right.
the next song?
Next one is the last song, and it actually has a video. So we're gonna see the video, and you're gonna react to the video and the music.
Let's go. Let me get this
It's
video.
called Neuron with
Neuron.
Gaeko and YUNJIN. I don't know. I probably
Did
did.
this just come out? Oh no, this was
About
a
a year ago.
All right, something else called Neuron just came out. Go ahead, Neuron. Let's do it. I'll tell you again. Very cool, man. I dig it. That was very, very creative because, well, first addressing the color. I love black and white. Always love black and white, but even more, I've loved when they isolate colors. And that's what they did. They isolated different things like the cab being red, and then the guy's jacket was red. The biker cap was blue. I like that use of colors like that. I think it's super creative. The way that they shot that, especially at the end, basically realizing that all the pictures or all of the images that we saw were actually still pictures that this person was taking. And the red strings basically, symbolizing the connection, everybody's connection and how it works. So to pull out like that and to see all of those pictures and all of everything that we had just seen and being displayed like that and kind of on that kind of a board with all the red string too, it's just really dope. I mean, it's life it's life imitating art imitating life. It is what it is. It's Kismic. So I just thought it was really cool, man. I would have loved to have seen him, and if he was in there, I didn't see him, but I just think that
This was before that he got out of the
before. Okay, so I was gonna say
military.
prison.
What?
Before J-Hope came out of the clink. No, might as well. Jeez. So this is when he got out. Before he was in the army when they dropped this, is what you're saying? Not the
Right.
prison. Creative, very, very creative. The track is amazing, but I got to be honest with you that as soon as the guest artist came in, now that was a girl, correct? As I want to make sure that
Yeah, I think so. I
the
mean,
mention her name,
MIRAE. MIRAE.
Jung MIRAE. Wow, I mean, wow. Like she again. I mean, she's just dope. She spit it really, really, really well. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think that this song is kind of. I would say that my favorite songs so far, being that was the last one, I would say it was this song and probably the second song, that short ass tune, man. Those two are the ones that really, really stuck out to me. The other ones were cool. The house one, I still say the same thing. It kind of, to me, doesn't really fit the aesthetics of the record. Listening to it from beginning to the end, it just kind of sticks out. But it's not that it's a bad thing. That maybe they did that on purpose. You know what I mean? But the whole nouveau disco meets hip hop, I thought was kind of the lane they were going to stay in. So you kind of see where I think that song kind of doesn't fit in that realm like that. I think I would have loved overall in this record. I think I would have loved to have heard him more rapping. You know what I mean? More songs like Mona Lisa. That's where I think that like that and that. What is the name of the second tune, by the way?
The
Short
one
one.
with JK? I wonder.
I wonder. Yeah, I think that stuff like that, Mona Lisa and this last tune, like that to me, those songs are kind of like where he sits. That's his lane. Other tunes that he does is cool too, but I think that those are the ones where he really shines, especially Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa's wow, that is a fire hit all day long. I love it. Love it, love it. I remixed it. So if I'm remixing it, I have to love it. Or I don't fuck with it, period. That's just the way it goes. Doesn't mean that I don't like something if I don't remix it. It's just that if I remix it, it's because it inspired me. I heard something. And Mona Lisa today is still one of my favorite remixes. So, other than that, what can I say about this record? Except for that when it comes to the mixing and the mastering, at least, everything seemed to be fluid up until the dance record. But I can tell that they did pay attention to the leveling of the songs from 1 to 6. And I can tell also that they did a really, really good job at least matching the vocals so that the vocals didn't sound like they were part of a track more than they sat and interweaved. They didn't mean it didn't sound like they were vocals sitting on top of a track. It sounded like it was very well mixed and very well, interleaved with each other, like it belonged there. And that was the consistency I heard. Sometimes in some records and some artists, we've reviewed records where that wasn't the case. In this case, though, this is it. The mastering sounds great. I think the only thing that, again, going back to some of the tunes, there were some things that I think were kind of missing. In this last track, I think the only thing that I can say is that the bass, they used some kind of a chorus effect on the kick drum bass, the long 808s. And for that, it sounds cool, but there's no once you start messing with the lower frequencies of things like that, and you start adding effects like reverbs or choruses or flangers or phasers, anything that disrupts a solid sine wave, like a bass sine, it can get funky. It can get really, really funky because you're now asking it to, especially in a chorus, you're doubling that wave, and that's what's giving that double chorus kind of thing. So when you add that to bass drums, it sounds cool, especially if you're going to manipulate it live. And I say, meaning if you're going to automate some of it, like let's say that there's the intensity is on 0, and at a certain note you bring the intensity up, and it just kind of gives it a growl. It goes from being boo 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 boo. It kind of, I know I'm looking stupid doing that, but the idea is in this song it kind of stayed in between the bass, the subsonic bass, and the growl. So now you have this very mid-tone bass going, and they're using it correctly, and it's doing its thing. But because of the chorus and because of how they EQ'd it, I think that they dismissed the subsonic value of that bass, therefore making it very mid-tone and not really having a lot of balls. I guess you can say a lot of bass. And in my mind, if I had done this track, I definitely would have had a longer sustaining kick bass, a long 808 bass or a sine wave. And I would have not gotten rid of that presence. I would have used it, especially in the chorus. You would have heard that bass kick in, and just really, really take that track into a whole different direction. And I think that they could have done that. some people would say, well, that's probably mastering. Not, that wasn't mastering. I mean, a master can only do what they can do. They are not able to manipulate a single, how do I say, a single instrument like a bass to add a chorus or any kind of effect unless they're given that stem to do so. Do they do that? The only time I've ever done that is I've given master guys stems. If I'm not sure about something, if I'm not sure about my mix, then I'll give them a stem. But usually when I send my masters out, I'll send the instrumental out and I'll send the acapella. So I'll have stereo composites of both of them and letting the master guy take those and kind of interweave the vocals together inside of the master. He can do that a little better than I can do it in that way. It's more of a finishing move to do so. And so with that said, that's the only time that I stem it out. Other than that, because it's a stereo composite, it's one thing that they're mastering, and it sounds like they did it in this way, they kind of omit the bass frequencies. There's not a lot of bass frequency there. So I'm missing that. That's just me. I just would have loved to have heard more subsonic presence. Well, I think that's about it. That's the last, correct, Irene? That's the last tune?
Yeah, that was the last tune.
All right.
And you've already said that your favorites are I Wonder and NEURON,
Yep.
which happen to be my favorites as well.
Yeah, and again, for more than one reason. So, I mean, it's not just for the fact that we listen to it. I think there's just some technical stuff that I really dig. I just don't like how short the first one was, or the second track. Other than that, folks, thank you for stopping by. For my Patreon folks, thank you very much for your support, and everybody on YouTube, the same. We will be back with some more album reviews from BTS and some of the solo guys. It is a mission to basically listen to everything that they got, because it's just an interesting catalog. It's an interesting way of listening to their music, and at the same time knowing that every song correlates into the next thing. So a lot of Easter eggs there if you want to uncover them. Other than that, thank you for stopping by. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. If there's any other albums you would like for us to listen to, it doesn't have to be BTS, but we would prefer it. But we'll listen to other records too. We want to make everybody happy. But you can damn well sure that we're going to be listening to more BTS records and solo records coming up. So with that said, you guys have a great week, and we will talk to you guys later.